No. That's an 1.5-inch needle and a 3-inch needle, I guess. And I think they also make a 6-inch needle. But the idea with a curved needle, and I can actually show it to you with this flat one, in order to go from here to there is pretty straightforward. We can do that with a curved needle or a straight needle either way. It's how do I go from here to here without going down and around. And it's kind of counterintuitive, but what you end up doing is going into this hole and coming out the next one over here. And by doing so, I'm going down and around the cap strip, and actually I'm going to cheat and go in between the fabric if I can, the fabric and the rib. There we go. And then come out.
Wasn't one of the main reasons putting the fabric underneath there was so that you don't have that line showing from the rib lace cord? Now you're gonna have, aren't you gonna have?
Well, this is just demonstration.
This is demonstration.
Okay.
What kind of he's going through?
We're assuming that I'm actually going around the cap strip. Okay. And normally you would do that with a curved needle. But the way these ribs are made, and the fact that I really don't want to unlace those, so we lose them. So we're going to assume that I'm actually going underneath the cap strip. But the trick here is that I go from this side to that side, but I go up one hole. And you might have to go up, 2 or 3 in order to make this work. But once I go from there, now I can go back down into this hole and come out the bottom one.
So don't you want to know if you're going to have to do this beforehand so you can make sure that it's not going to cut, like nothing sharp in there and stuff too? Like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and how would you know that?
Well, you
By
did
thinking
before.
about it.
Oh.
You said it. How do I know how I need to restitch this fabric?
Thing was made. Put that in reverse.
Old Chinese blueprint, yeah.
The Chinese blueprint. Okay, yeah, the old fabric. The old fabric will tell us that, hey, there was something in the way here, so I have to go around the cap strip. And generally speaking, that's because there's some kind of a hard object underneath, either a fuel tank or there's a large gusset or something of that nature. But that's how we do it, is go in this hole and then come out on the left side here up one, and then go back in and come out the next one. And so here what I've got now is the beginning of the stitch without going through the bottom. I've gone just around the cap strip. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty straightforward. Any other questions about that? What if I've got a wing that's 24 inches in depth and loft? Is that going to work?
No.
No. They sell these needles in 12 and 18 inches, but let's say it's 24 inches. What do I do?
Make a welding rod.
I make one. And what do I make it out of?
Welding rod.
Welding rod. Yep. Take a hammer, hit it once on the end to flatten it, drill a little hole, make a little bit of a point, and then take a pair of pliers and bend it over. You very well might have to make your own needles for certain ribs. In some airplanes, they have compression ribs. And so you've got the normal rib, but then you've got blocks that go on each side. And so while the cap strip is 3/8 of an inch, the actual width of the rib will be 1 inch or 2 inches because they've got blocks. Your pits will be that way. Your pits will have blocking material that runs on each side as a compression member. And so can I go from this hole to the bottom hole if I've got a big block in the way? No, I can't. So I've got to make a needle, and that means I'm going to take one of these needles and either bend this needle so that I can go around, or take a piece of welding rod and make a big curved needle so that I can go in and around and poke it through.
Yeah,
That's that experimental part of building airplanes.